The Canon G7X Mark II has a huge reputation to live up to, and this model especially is the latest topic in the ongoing debate of what is the best vlogging camera. Could it be you? Welcome to my second talk with you guys about the Canon G7X, and if you're new to this channel, hello, my name is Alicia, and this is AMATV, where I make fun and exciting travel and adventure videos and discuss with you the gear we use to create them. So subscribe! If you haven't seen my first review on the Canon G7X, then check it out here because I discuss all of the features that this camera brings to the travel vlogging table. And today I will point out some of the new features on the Mark II and discuss two of the main vlogging issues and concerns that you guys seem to have about this camera, which you were so awesome to share with me in the comments on the last video. I know a lot of you tune into these videos to help kind of figure out which is the best camera purchase for you, and I hope these videos help. If you would like to support my channel, then please use my link in the video description below to purchase this camera or anything else from Amazon, because I get a tiny percentage of that, which is fun because it means I can pick up some more gear. You guys know how it is. Now, I was finally pushed over the edge to buy the Canon G7X when I learned that cameras with detachable lenses were not allowed at any of the music festivals that I wanted to attend and film for you this summer. And while I will use my iPhone in a pinch, that was not going to cut it to create this entire Bonnaroo Music Festival series. I was so glad to have the G7X for it. Now let me be clear that the Bonnaroo videos are all shot on the Canon G7X Mark I, while the Comic-Con video that I posted just last week was shot on the brand new Mark II. So feel free to compare. And this camera is also the Mark II because sadly my DSLR is still broken. So yeah, this is an empty box. Now you may already know that the Canon G7X has a 1.8 aperture lens and a fairly large 1-inch sensor for a point-and-shoot camera. Pair that with fully manual controls, it's essentially the closest thing to a DSLR that a point-and-shoot can be, only much smaller. So the major upgrades on the Canon G7X Mark II versus the Mark I is the addition of this handy hand grip, which I love, and it only adds a tiny bit of bulk to the camera, as well as the additional folding angle of this screen. The Mark I only did this motion, while here on the Mark II we have a second hinge, so you can more easily frame up those high-angle shots that we all love. Here's one from Comic-Con. The Mark II also has better image stabilization, which is super important for vlogging, and you really can get some nice, smooth shots with this thing. And for further support, I always keep my cameras on some sort of hand grip or mini tripod, depending on what functionality you want to add. I got in the habit of this with the GoPro because it's absolutely essential with those things, and then from there I just decided I never really want to actually hold a camera again, at least for video. Hand grips provide extra stabilization, and in the case of the G7X, it also prevents you from accidentally covering the mic input, which is easy to do if you're just trying to hold it. I also believe that these grips prevent me from completely dropping the camera, since it's easier to tuck it into your bag or like under your arm. They're like safety poles. It also offers a USB charging port, which is an underrated upgrade. I was paranoid before heading to Bonnaroo that there would be no actual plugs available and the only battery backups I had were USB. It ended up being fine, but still, it's nice to know that USB charging is an option if you need it in a pinch. I actually just got this amazing Revive solar-powered charger, which basically means that I could go camping in the woods for several days with my Canon G7X and still survive, because camera battery power is all you need to survive in the woods for several days. Also, the Mark II battery life is supposed to be a little bit better, and I did find it to be okay. The night that I went out before Comic-Con, it lasted the whole evening. But in general, the battery life is not a strong point on this camera, so if you're going to be using it all day for video, you will have to buy multiples. A genuine Canon battery replacement is about $50, although you can buy the generic ones for about $15 a piece, although I don't think they last quite as long. So it's just a matter of how much backup juice you think you'll need, and of course, Canon recommends their battery. If you're going to be out vlogging all day, I do recommend at least 2 to 3 genuine batteries, or the 1 genuine battery and like 4 of the generic batteries. Although I don't know why you would buy the generics. And of course, with the USB charging option, you could always just bring a USB power bank and charge it up that way. And those things also double to charge your phone. Finally, another major upgrade is that the G7X Mark II has a faster processing chip, which gives you sharper images, better autofocus. It's basically the brain of the camera. It's just a little bit bigger, so this camera is a little bit smarter. And now, the issues and concerns. The first general issue people tend to have with these cameras is the fact that there is no external audio input, so you are basically working with the built-in mic. And I do need to tell you that the audio you're hearing right now is not the built-in mic. That's the built-in mic. Now you're hearing the G7X audio. Most of the audio you're hearing is via the Rode Lav mic, which is attached to my shirt, and then I am recording it onto my iPhone to sync it up later. Because anytime you have a sit-down shot like this in an echoey room, you will need to have some kind of external audio, period. The camera is about 5 feet away from me right now. That's the main reason. So just because the camera doesn't have an external audio input, that does not mean you can't record audio separately. Problem solved. And since we're looking at this camera specifically for vlogging, I have to say I was super impressed with the built-in mic on the Mark II. I do think it's a tiny bit better than the audio on the Mark I, and as long as you're holding the camera, you know, at arm's length or even on a grip, it should be able to pick up your voice just fine. So this is Comic-Con 2016. Craziness! In fact, I found it funny that while I was rolling at Comic-Con but not speaking to the camera, it picked up on other voices in the crowd, like some little spy cam.
Last year was my first year and I'm stupid. I had all 4 days I didn't buy it. Welcome to San Diego!
Why, thank you! It really can hone in on sound. And the second vlogging camera concern that I believe many people have is the autofocus, or more specifically, it locking in on the background rather than your face while vlogging. Now you have to understand that even in face detection focus mode, if you're side framing your face in a crowd, then the camera just might choose another face to hone in on. Or simply a more interesting background because you're just a little bit too close. At Comic-Con, I had many issues with this because I did pull it right out of the box without proper setup. However, I learned that I simply need to go through the process of setting up the Face ID. It's super simple to do. You can add yourself and up to 11 other people. You're even encouraged to put in multiple versions of your face so your camera can really get to know the real you. You're basically enabling your camera to become intelligent and learn exactly who is its vlogmaster. Of course, if all else fails, you can simply use the touchscreen for ultimate focus control. Just touch the focal point on the viewfinder to switch between anything quickly and elegantly, also known as a rack focus in the filming world. So with those two vlogging camera issues solved, do you think the Canon G7X is the best vlogging camera? Because I absolutely love it. It's important to note that its main competitor is the Sony RX100, and I will link to that in the description below as well, so you can take a look at both and make the comparison yourself. I would love to hear whether you're on Team Canon or Team Sony, and also share any concerns or successes you've had with any of these cameras in the comments below. And let me know if you have any further questions about this one. I would love for you to become a subscriber of AMA TV by clicking on the red button below. That way you won't miss any of my exciting travel videos or discussions about the gear I use to create them. Add me on Snapchat for all the latest updates, and I will actually be snapping from Las Vegas next week, so don't miss that. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye! Lay down. Lay down. I have a dog. Good girl.